Yeah, I really don't want to talk. What? Oh, I'm on. Okay. So, yeah, we're back we're back in, and I like to say in living color, but I've been saying a lot of different things. In living color, and downtown Julie Brown used to say, "In the place to be is JJ Sessions." Enjoy everything that we've been doing since beginning of September, August. We've been doing this for 6 months now, slowly growing. Want to see more? As we continue, we're going to be doing the podcast down the road. There's a thing called a subscribe button. Hit that if you want to see more and be alerted about more stuff coming. And also, if you like everything that we've done and you want to throw a comment and chuck a like, throw in whatever comments and whatever stuff I've been doing, the club lives, the Gen X stuff, the hockey content. And I have been recently getting over COVID, and it is not a fun thing. Lucky me, it was only mild. But I am decked out in whatever Atlanta stuff is because the season is over, and I will support my team, whatever. Regardless that I have penguin stuff in the back. I'm a very, very awkward human being. But we are live in my domain. Wherever you may be, and Colin Coward says this, wherever you may be, however you may be watching, and I thank you, and thank you for making me part of your day, part of your couple minutes that you're spending around, and as always, we appreciate you. Don't know really necessarily what I need to get at, but it does need to be addressed. I threw a little bit of that intro about that. That's one of the best photos ever taken at a Halloween party when I was much younger with my executive director and producer and event planner. And we had good fun. But this is a time where we definitely need to have some sort of, try to clean up, if you will. We definitely need to figure out if the NFL, is it even rigged? Is it staged? Or are we seeing the next Tom Brady? Many of my friends, long and all over the place, know I will never forgive that man for destroying the Atlanta Falcons' dreams in that Super Bowl, losing up 28-3, and he comes back and wins the whole thing. There are numerous things to blame. Kyle Shanahan was the OC that time, and he was too conservative in the final couple minutes of the third quarter and in the fourth, and couldn't do crap in overtime because Tom Brady wins a coin toss, because Tom Brady gets what he wants. But when you're that conservative, people like Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, at that time I have still referred to them as the evil empire, will take advantage. And Atlanta will never ever return to a Super Bowl, and probably will never ever get over that. They will probably those people in Falcons Nation down there probably hate Tom Brady forever and a day. Doesn't matter what he does, ever. But there's part of that to blame. Defense couldn't stop him. I mean, how do you think Tom Brady threw 505 yards against the Eagles in that Super Bowl and lost and almost won with a Hail Mary? That was the biggest shootout in Super Bowl history. And go figure, Tom Brady still finds a way. I mean, he gets to another Super Bowl against the Rams. Didn't play well on that game, but he did just enough plays with Gronk, and Belichick won that Super Bowl. It was Jared Goff's first Super Bowl. And go figure, Tom Brady still finds a way to get to a Super Bowl in a pandemic. No OTAs, no training camp. He had the right to choose where he wanted to go, and he chose Tampa. Halfway through the season, they get blown out by the Saints, and after that, they did not lose. They could not be stopped. And basically, in a way, we start with where Patrick Mahomes came from, got himself to a Super Bowl, and got himself facing Brady in the pandemic Super Bowl, and basically got blown out because he did not have an offensive line. In a way of speaking, Brady got his 7th Super Bowl. So in a way of speaking, put down the tier. It's Brady 7. It's the Patriots and Steelers 6. The Cowboys have 5. The 49ers have 5. And a couple others with 4 and 3 and 2. and 2, and you could go down the list. Brady will forever and ever be the GOAT. And then there's Patrick Mahomes. We are now in a Gen Z millennial transition of millennial pretty much is a good transition into the Gen Z. Because Brady came into this league, took over a beat up Drew Bledsoe. If it wasn't for Drew Bledsoe getting hurt, Tom Brady does not have 6 Super Bowls, and the Steelers would probably be on verge for another Super Bowl. And now we have Patrick Mahomes coming out, getting drafted by Kansas City and Andy Reid, and this has now become this current age's dynasty. No skin off of Andy Reid, because he's one of the best offensive mind coaches. Didn't win a Super Bowl, definitely needed one, and he got it against the 49ers that year before the pandemic. We rooted for them. We rooted for the Chiefs, and Garoppolo was good, but he threw one bad ball, overthrew one bad ball, and Kansas City, who were down in that game, came back and won. But that just shows where Patrick Mahomes comes in and how great of an athlete he is and how masterful of a mind he has. He could very well be the next GOAT. And this day and age, we're about to see it. But are we also about to see the next dynasty? People are saying, oh great, Kansas City's a dynasty. Kansas City was already a dynasty. 6 straight AFC title games. First things first, Nick Wright started calling the AFC Championship game the Arrowhead Invitational. That's how good Kansas City was starting to get. And fans all over the world, doesn't matter if you're in the EPL or whatever, people get sick of dynasties because they either get boring or you just can't stop them. The Patriots were stopped a handful of times. Eli and the Giants. The Kansas City Chiefs were beaten one time, basically because Patrick Mahomes didn't have an offensive line. The other time was in the AFC title game and Joe Burrow beat him. Here we are. Is Kansas City the next dynasty? Are they going to win? Are they feared for the rest of this entire NFL? No matter what you put in front of Patrick Mahomes, he succeeds. He figures you out during the beginning of the game and then pretty much pounds you into oblivion later on. He's that gifted. He grasps the game. Yes, sure, he came out of Texas Tech, threw a lot of shootouts. He was supposed to basically follow the steps of Alex Smith. His first game, when the Kansas City already made the playoffs, he threw 400 plus yards. Multiple touchdown game. Passer rating was over 100 and something. We now figured out, did you make a mistake not drafting this guy? Well, now every team in the NFL fears the Kansas City Chiefs. No matter what you do, Patrick Mahomes finds a way. He always has. He's got 3. He can easily get 4. They're the easiest. This could be the easiest bet that they could three-peat. Nobody in NFL history, in Super Bowl history. I mean, NFL history is different, but when the Super Bowl era hit, nobody has ever had 3 in a row, and the Kansas City Chiefs could easily do that. And I have bragged to many people, and I will go on this very much soliloquy. The Kansas City Chiefs are this day and age dynasty. The younger generation love Mahomes. They love Travis Kelce. They love everything about it, and will start buying Chiefs gear just like anybody would buy Steelers gear and Patriots gear and Cowboys and 49ers when they had their runs of dynasties. And teams would start getting ticked off because they can't knock off a dynasty. Kansas City is right there in the thick of the toughest conference. With all those quarterbacks, elites or up and coming, Mahomes finds a way. I have matched them with the Golden State Warriors, and I'm not a Warriors fan. Not even a Steph Curry fan. But Steph Curry's all right. He's a good humanitarian, but he's cocky as hell on the court. He'll drop 35, 40 on you, shoot 1 from 40 and not even sweat. They're a little bit off this year because they're getting old. But Curry and the Warriors, if they need to win a game, they'll find a way. The Warriors and the Chiefs are very, very ideally really, really similar. And nobody seems to get that. And here you go. Kansas City won a Super Bowl back in the 70s. Actually, in 1970, they won Super Bowl 4 against the Vikings. Golden State won a championship in 1975. They have had decades of dismay, trying to get the right pieces, trying to do this and that. Even Golden State had the Run TMC era with Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway. Kansas City have been fighting for ages trying to beat the Raiders and the Chargers and the Broncos. And the Broncos were in a little bit of a minor dynasty as well. Both are very similar. Golden State had a handful of titles in a row, got beat one year by Cleveland in the most covenant way, up 3-1, and they get beat by LeBron at home. And then the following 2 years, Golden State destroys Cleveland. One when they were injury hit, one when they were full strength, both with Kevin Durant. They should have had 3, but they were injury riddled all through and let Toronto knock them around in the finals, and Toronto has their championship. And now Patrick Mahomes has everything he's ever asked, is basically says the right things in the media, and is basically looking out and is pretty much saying, we won our championship, we defended our title, and I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm gonna enjoy this, I'm gonna enjoy Disneyland, I'm gonna enjoy doing all this for the week, and then I'm gonna get ready because we're getting this three-peat. He's doing what he has to do. And Golden State does the same thing. Because Golden State gets into the play-in tournament, they're going to be dangerous. It doesn't matter if it's one and out or however they do it. Golden State has their dynasty. And a legendary Hall of Fame coach. Legendary supporting front office. Kansas City's is up there as well. And look what Mahomes has just recently done. Think about this. The cap's going to hit $252 million this year. Mahomes has the biggest cap hit of the team with $37 million. A C- wide receiver core. Their number one's Rasheed Rice was a rookie. Kadarius Toney could not catch a ball and was on the inactive list. Sky Moore was injured. MVS, Vantez Scantling, couldn't catch anything. And Justin Watson only appeared periodically. Travis Kelce's their number one receiver. And when they got to the playoffs, they could not be touched. Their heads were swiveled on. Coaching got into the fix. There wasn't a drop pass that was relevant the entire way from the Miami game, the Sub-Zero Miami game, all the way to the Super Bowl. Those receivers who needed to make a play and make a catch did it. MVS especially. Kadarius Toney did not even play. Sky Moore was just was activated. The Chiefs are actually very similar with the Patriots. They're in a tire fire of a division. The Patriots won in divisions all over the place in the AFC East. Buffalo was down, Miami was rebuilding, the Jets were a mess. Here are the Chiefs. The Broncos are in a rebuild. The Raiders definitely rebuild, and the Chargers are just the Chargers. The Kansas City Chiefs are 30-5. Mahomes is 30-5 against the AFC West. And think about this. I'm going to burn through this, and I'm going to shut this one down. For 6 straight games in the regular season this season, they had a rest disadvantage. Meaning, you didn't have a full week of preparation for a game, whether you had a Thursday night, a Monday night, a Saturday, or whatever. For 6 straight weeks, they had a rest disadvantage from week 12 to week 17. That was the only time in the history of the NFL that has happened. They had to play in Germany against the Dolphins, against Tua and Tyreek Hill. Won that game. They didn't even have a first-round bye. They were underdogs the entire way. At Buffalo, at Baltimore. Mahomes never played a game on the road in the playoffs. And went into Buffalo and had 131 passer rating. And made plays and broke the Buffalo Bills' hearts. Again. Went to Baltimore. Baltimore did not want to run the football. And basically they just put the ball in Lamar's hands and says, hey, punch our ticket to Vegas. And Mahomes, first two drives actually, in Baltimore, hostile environment, touchdown. Went into Baltimore and won. In the Super Bowl, they were a plus 2.5. It was 2 before the day of the actual game. They were underdogs, plus 2.5. They were down by 10 in the last 4 drives of that game. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown in overtime. Mahomes just finds ways. This, in fact, in the Super Bowl era was the toughest path of strength of, not just strength of schedule, strength of opponents faced. It was the toughest stretch in the Super Bowl era. And Mahomes finds a way to win. He's a gamer. You don't have to like him. You can like him just because he says the right things. You can like it just because of all the funky throws he does. Just stepping out of the pocket. Nobody can hit him. Even if he had a bad ankle, running for 35 yards against the Eagles in that Super Bowl, I still don't think he was hurt, but nobody can touch him. It was different when, if you touched Brady, you were getting 15 yards. You literally can't touch Mahomes, and if you did, it was irrelevant. He'd find a way to get to second down, get to third down, and make a fourth down conversion like he did in the Super Bowl, in overtime. All San Francisco had to do was stop him from 2 yards. But obviously, Andy Reid and Mahomes finds ways to keep the drive going. And what does he do? He throws to Michael Hartman on a 3, 4, 5 yard out, just little dink. And the Kansas City Chiefs continue the dynasty. I even picked the Chiefs to win. It's just Mahomes just finds ways to win. That you can get on him about his weird wife and his weird TikTok brother. You can get on just because now the weird wife is now besties with Taylor Swift. The Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce thing had nothing to do with it. Travis Kelce had one hell of a game. But the Kansas City Chiefs are very similar to Golden State. They're going to be around for a while. And I'm going to end this basically just pretty much, if you are a team in the AFC, whether you're Baltimore, Cincinnati, Buffalo, the Jaguars, now Houston, the Chargers with Harbaugh, even the Steelers trying to figure out their quarterback. If Deshaun Watson comes back, we now have to deal with this issue. Can you stop Patrick Mahomes? It's not even the Chiefs, because now they could be more dangerous if they get their hands on a real number one wide receiver in the offseason. Because if that happens, it's checkmate. They're not going to lose in New Orleans next year. AFC, your job was many jobs many years ago when Brady was playing. You weren't trying to get to the Super Bowl. You were trying to stop Brady and the Patriots. Now the AFC has a bigger deal. It's not necessarily getting into the Super Bowl. It's stopping Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes from making the next biggest dynasty. And the NFL is one of the biggest organizations in the world and has enough parity. But as long as Mahomes is breathing, you are now looking at could very well be the next GOAT. He just keeps finding ways to win. And you can't really argue with that. He just does what he does. And he's cocky on the field, but he says the right things in the media. it's hard to hate people when they're like that, because when you're on the field, you kind of want to be a little bit up there as well. NFL, rest of the league, I wish you the best of luck, because this is the generation we are living at right now. Can you stop the Kansas City dynasty? Can something else pop up? Can something else emerge? Can the next big star, can the next big team show their input and try to compete against somebody that is near immortal? The closest immortal thing to Tom Brady. Mahomes is that dude. And you can always shake your head. There's only two things you can do now. You either pray and hope that he just falls apart, or you pray that he gets hurt, and nobody ever wishes that on anybody. You just hope you can finally beat him, or just, I don't know what else you can say. This is a long video, and it's only because we have to deal with this dynasty. What is your take on Kansas City's dynasty and Patrick Mahomes? Your team, what has to be done to stop the Kansas City dynasty? Put a comment down, say your piece. I didn't want to make this a long video, but this is a dynasty that needed to be talked about. And this is the generation in the NFL that we have surfaced to. We are in the midst of greatness, and we now are continuing to see it over and over and over again. I'm shutting this bar down. I've said my piece. I'm still getting over the COVID run. I feel good, just a little bit here and there, but until then, continue to support the channel when you can. Like and subscribe when you get opportunities to check out certain stuff. There's going to be a lot of different life stuff coming up. But I needed to get this one out. I'm happy I did, and I'm happy you guys stuck around for all of this. This is something we'll continue to monitor down the road. Until then, I appreciate you. I will see you Bloody Legends in the next one. And as always, the bar is closed. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you again, and we do appreciate you. God bless you, and somebody needs to stop that man.